Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals Go to the Movies. This is another Throwback Thursday review, and today I'll be reviewing the movie Tombstone. And just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. A successful lawman's plan to retire anonymously in Tombstone, Arizona are disrupted by the kind of outlaws he was famous for eliminating. So let's begin with my first pro. We have a movie about Wyatt, Earp, and his brothers, and Doc Holliday, and the famous gunfight in the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. These characters are real, and they played a big part from going from the Old West to the modern times. Wyatt being the most famous lawman and then retired that went on to be directly involved with Hollywood stars and even have movies made about him. Some of them were made about him and his friend Doc Holliday. So having another film touch upon these tales is a nice touch. Next pro, the cast. We have big names: Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, Michael Biehn, Billy Hayne, Michael Rooker, and the most famous one that I would say, Charles Heston. Having all these names in one film and revisiting the film in the present time, it's a treat in my mind. And your mind's going to be saying, look, that's MacReady from The Thing, that's Iceman from Top Gun, that's Bill from Twister, that's Cal from Titanic, look, that's Colonel Miles from the Avatar, and that's Sam Elliott from, well, every other Sam Elliott Western character in the 80s. It was a real treat to see them all in one film, so this was a really big pro for me. Next pro, how the film tried to capture how the Old West was and how the country was expanding towards the West, while the law tried to keep order ahead of the bad guys. Also, how this film did not focus or make the Native Americans the bad guys. Instead, the outlaws had all races that fell outside of the law into the outlaw bandits. Also, I enjoyed how they made Doc Holliday, played by Val Kilmer, play up his illness through the film. He did make it seem like his illness was taking a toll by his skin tone changing or his constant sweating due to his fever and his constant coughing. It's the little things that make this film enjoyable, I would say. Heck, even the mention of the drug, or medicine back then, laudanum, that was being taken by Lois for her headaches, since it was shown in both forms as the medicine cocktail and the actual drug opium being smoked in the Chinese dens. And it actually was a big epidemic that was taking over Tombstone, Arizona at that time. So that was a nice touch. Last pro, we had the real Wyatt Earp III in this film playing Billy Claiborne. Okay, it was not the original Wyatt, but it's a distant relative of the real person, so I feel it was a nice Easter egg for those fans of the Old West to have spotted him in the film and for him to be in the movie about his old relative, kind of playing an homage, if you may. And now on to my cons. The same con as the Untouchables that I had in my review. It is not quite as accurate as one would think it was at first. The story is condensed and was changed in order to present a more action-packed story. This is fine for stories that are not based on real events, since the people who are familiar with the real stories, not just the historians, but fans of the Old West and or the persona involved in the film, would quickly point out the mistakes that were made and the changes. So I would have to say that for the real events, stay as accurate as possible with the information, or just state it at the beginning of the film, quote, a retelling of the real events in the life of so-and-so, end quote. But if you really want to take a different route, why not focus the story from an outsider's point of view and have them say things like, some will say that it happened this way, but as I recall, it happened this way because I was there. Sort of the element of an eyewitness statement that goes against the actual written events, but also state that this is a fictional recreation of the real events in history. Next con, not against the actual film, but the fact that they changed directors. As stated by Michael Biehn, who played Johnny Ringo, he said that the writer, Kevin Jarre, was given the chance to direct, but soon was overwhelmed and he was let go and replaced by George Cosmatos. And then soon, it was as if the film was directed by a kind of committee where everybody pitched in ideas. So the con was that due to that little mistake, the film had a chance of not getting made. But good for us that it got made and we got to see this on the big screen. So my grade for this movie is going to be an 8 out of 10. I mean, even if I'm not a fan of when films take too much leeway with their definition of based on real events, this film was enjoyable and I can see how it might even get viewers to later look up the real Wyatt Earp and his life, or the history of the gunfight in the OK Corral, or even the real Tombstone, Arizona. I gotta say, I also enjoyed seeing all the cast and all their talent working together in one film. So that does it for this review of Tombstone. Please join us next time where we're going to review 16 Candles.
I can't believe this. They fucking forgot my birthday.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.